Hello everyone, I'm Phoenix Tremaine and I'm here to talk about Master, the new Amazon Prime movie starring Regina Hall. But first, if you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Please hit that like button so YouTube knows a good channel for fans of movies and content and information I'm going to be putting on this channel. And help me get to that 1,000 subscribers. That's my new goal. And I would love to have you on this new journey with this new channel. You'll see in the description box that I do have a second channel. That one has 30,000, almost 30,000 subscribers. So if you like soaps and dramas, that's the channel for you. Now, man, this movie was so disappointing. I think I stopped watching it like 5 times because it just couldn't hold my attention. It's a movie that's a slow burn. And I don't know if you know what edging is, but let's just say this movie never reached completion. And ever since Get Out, I've been seeing more black horror, which I liked. I've wanted that for decades. But it seems like at least the studio releases, they keep trying to focus on black horror as just racism and, you know, social issues. And that's okay. But horror is built on the back of slasher films, haunted houses, witches, warlocks, vampires, werewolves, ghosts. And that's how you really, you know, craft these films like the Saw franchise. But there's so many different types of horror. And I feel like when it comes to black horror, they're pigeonholing it into this one little area because Get Out was successful. But where's the black version of Scream? Give me that. Give me the black version of House on Haunted Hill. Amityville Horror, something like that. Night of Living Dead. You know, what would the black experience be like culturally without taking the stereotypes out of it? Having us in these types of films, and how we would have to change culturally to how we would realistically react in certain situations. So when you see Regina Hall in what I'm guessing is supposed to be a horror movie, it's not even a thriller. I was gonna say a suspense thriller because if you watch the trailer, they're talking a lot about the witch is gonna get you, and there's creepy imagery of like the witch coming through the window. One of the characters would have these nightmares and wake up with scratches, you know, all over her, where we saw the witch hand come out from under the bed and like cut her. And, you know, Regina Hall character is like constantly, maggots just keep coming everywhere. And you would think that this would be the makings of a great horror film, or at least a great attempt at a horror film. But it's just basically the whole movie. I tell you, I can save you some time. Racism is bad. Racism exists. That's the whole movie. See, I saved you an hour and 16 minutes. To say it's a slow burn is an understatement. I need Amazon Prime movies to pay me for having watched this. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. You don't get any answers about anything that's happened. Was the witch real? Was it just a nightmare? Who are the people with the hoods that still act like it's the 1700s? Why do the white people look like the old white people that was in the painting? Why did the painting look like a skeleton and then turn back? Why did the cafeteria lady be nice to the white people but not nice to the black girl? And you know, who was the one burning crosses and putting nooses on the door and all of that? We have clues of who might have done it. And, it was interesting having Regina Hall play her character in Scary Movie. Who would have left this movie in like the first, within the first 30 minutes of this movie, her character would have already checked out and like, all right, peace out, I'm done. Trust me. But when it comes to the end of the movie, there's so much tension built up. That's why I said edgy. There's so much tension built up. It's like, okay, now this is going to happen. Now we're going to see, who was pretending to be the witch, or was it a real witch? What are these people doing? Oh, she just gave her some water. Is it drugged? What's about to happen? Why are these, people staring at her? And when you see the way it ends, it's like, oh, so the message of this movie is racism exists and is bad and is not going anywhere. No matter what you do, it's just here. So we don't get any answers about the witch. uh, I'm not going to say what happened to a character, but what was all that about? And the thing is, I know there are people who are like, well, that's what's wrong with the audience. They want to be spoon fed all of the information. They don't want to have to think. I've heard those arguments before. But when you write a movie and then you say, these are 5 reasons why all of this could have happened, then the end. It's like there's a difference between leaving some things for the audience imagination, and then there are like you don't even know if anything was actually even supernatural. It's just so stupid. Like, I feel like the writer had writer's block, and they were like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just let the audience figure it out on their own. I don't have to tell them, what's going on. I don't have to give them no clues. We just gonna end it right here. In the way it ends, like I said, the whole message of racism is bad, as if we don't know. Like, being black people, like, we kind of know. We've lived through it. Maybe this is for white people. That maybe the white people need the message of racism is bad, as if they don't know that it's bad. So the whole film essentially spotlights microaggressions, questioning blackness, and sort of are white people right or wrong for like black people who produced music that use the N word or start talking about sex or whatever. Should you be uncomfortable if they're enjoying it as much as you're enjoying it? These are all great questions that is something you can think about at a later date and discuss with people who've seen it. You can have a little discussion on it. But then once you start throwing witches and people living in 1700s, 1800s, whatever it is, they basically look like the Amish. They're having rituals or something, and the lights are going out, and just things are happening, and it's like we want a payoff. There is no payoff. The movie literally ends. I don't want to give away the ending. With just making a statement about racism and the end. So you could have just made an old drama, took the witch stuff out of it, and it would have been just a regular old, racial movie, like put them on the par with all the rest of them. That's what this could have been. Just didn't have to be a horror movie. You didn't have to have any horror to it. And there's little things that honestly and I'll end it with this because I feel like I'm about to start rambling. Because this movie is so fractured in its ideas, like it's not a complete plan on a linear sense of this is what happened to these people and this is how it ends. It's more of it was like somebody just throwing ideas at the chalkboard and wetting them up and seeing what sticks. And I felt uncomfortable because I learned lessons from a friend of mine who collects black art, African art, and this woman, played by Regina Hall. I think her name's Gail. I can't remember. That's how the movie is. Nothing was really memorable. It's leaving my mind as we speak. But there was this figurine of a black woman, a mammy type figurine, and she looked at it and she was just so almost disgusted and like hit it before I think some white people were coming or something and just kind of hit it. And what my friend taught me when he collects African art is that we can't run away from our history. We can't hide our history. And that he would have he had like that very figurine that she had. And he's like, you display it, you discuss it, you don't like put it under the rug or anything like that. And then you appreciate it for what it is and where we are now, and that this is a part of our history. And I can understand feeling ashamed or wanting to move on or feeling like there's something wrong. But as he began collecting these different types of figurines that could have been considered racial, and displayed them so that people can see them and understand the history and the people and why these things were created. And I was like, that is a better conversation that could have been had for this movie. Like, if you put it out there and make people feel uncomfortable, but as you talk about it and see what changes we can make to be better people and not, relive history in the present, those things need to be discussed, especially with the children. They need to see that this is how it was, and we don't want to go back there. And this is why we have to do better, in a sense, because we have to appreciate the people that died for us. We have to appreciate the people who died fighting for us, or just the people that were fighting for us. And it wasn't just black people fighting for civil rights; it was all different types of people fighting for civil rights. Of course, we were on the front lines. And it made me feel uncomfortable that the movie was uncomfortable with not really having a better discussion about that. Because if you ever came to my house, because he demonstrated the pride of not shying away from the past, and I'm not going to say appreciate that it was created, but appreciating that we're not going to allow our history to be lost. So when people like Kanye West says things like slavery is a choice, we need these types of things to show you this was not a choice. So if you ever came to my house, I have pictures all over the house that are about black history, moments in black culture, black leaders, lots of things. If you go in the bathroom, you see the famous protests where guys were wearing the signs, I am a man. Like, we were not even considered people. We were property. So that is a reminder of how far we've come and how much further we need to go. And if you want to have a race discussion, take witches out of it. It's scary enough. Reality is scary enough. So anyway, I was disappointed in this movie. I was bored by this movie. I was disappointed in Regina Hall choosing this movie. I'm sure her character from Scary Movie would be giving her the side eye for being in this movie. And I hate that I wasted an hour and 16 minutes of my time waiting for a conclusion to a film that does not conclude. You may say racism didn't conclude either, and that's why it ended like that. But no, I wanted to be entertained. I was not entertained, nor did I learn anything that I didn't already know. So that's it. If you see Master, let me know in the comments. And if you have any, if you want to talk about anything I've said in the comments, what are your experiences? How do you feel about figurines and pictures and books and things like that that could be considered, racist? There's no Confederate flags anywhere. I'm not talking. I'm just talking about historical things that directly affected black people that could be considered shameful depending on how you view it. But would you rather, just destroy those things and, pretend like they didn't happen? Or do you feel like something like that invoking a conversation is necessary in 2022? So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.